Hi, and welcome to today's lesson on common denominators, and a special welcome to all the students from Mr. Ason's math class joining us. Let's take a look at a couple examples of basic questions on how to find a common denominator when adding or subtracting fractions. So this first example, 2/5 plus 1/3. We notice that we have two different denominators, but in order to add or subtract fractions, we need to have a common denominator so that we can combine these terms. So in order to find a common denominator, the simplest and most straightforward method is multiply the two denominators times each other. So 5 times 3 would give us 15, exactly. So our common denominator is going to be 15. Now, to figure out what the numerator for each one is going to be, we have to look at what we're multiplying each term by. This fraction we multiplied times 3, and whatever we do to the bottom we have to do to the top. So our numerator is then going to be 2 times 3, which would give us a value of 6. For this fraction, we multiplied times 5, so if we multiply times 5 on bottom, we have to multiply times 5 on top, and that'll give us our numerator here. 1 times 5 is 5. And now we can add our fractions together. So we just add straight across. 6 plus 5 is 11. And for our denominator, one thing that we want to keep in mind, and this is important because it's a common mistake that a lot of students make, we keep the denominator the same when we're adding or subtracting. That's the point of finding the common denominator in the first place. So here our common denominator is 15. So it'll be 15 in our answer. We don't want to add the denominators together. The denominator stays the same. It's the numerators that we either add or subtract together when finding our final answer. Let's try one more example just to make sure we've got the hang of it. So here we have 3 over 4 minus 2 over 3. And to find a common denominator, our first step here is to multiply these two denominators times each other. 4 times 3 gives us 12. So we'll have a common denominator of 12. And then, if we take a look, this fraction we had to multiply times 3 to get 12. So we multiplied times 3 on top. And this fraction we had to multiply times 4 to get 12. So we multiplied times 4 on top. And our numerators now, 3 times 3 would give us 9. 2 times 4 would give us 8. And when combining those, we subtract the numerators. 9 minus 8 gives us 1. And our common denominator stays the same. So we get 1 over 12 as our final answer on that one. If you have further questions, please feel free to visit our website at www.sandersontestprep.com. The link is in the description below. You can also suggest in our comments topics that you'd like to see covered in our YouTube library, and we'll be happy to post video responses.